Hello. Good to see you today. It's Dr. Weaver. It's just Eli, man. We are here in my private studio, of course. My luxury, beautiful, private tattoo studio. And it's story time. Here, working on a masterpiece. And I've come today to tell you, a lot of people ask me, how did you get started in tattooing? And I say, you know what? It's an interesting question. Because I got started in tattooing a few different times. Then I finally had to change myself in order to stick to the path. I had to follow the plot. I had to design a life for myself and execute it. See, you may have dreams. You may have goals. You may have a vision of yourself in the future. But unless you actually have the discipline and a system to get there, you will never accomplish your dreams. You will stay stuck in a cycle, and you will also descend in life. Yeah, your life will actually get worse if it doesn't get better. There's no staying the same. There's no stagnant. You're actually either living or you're dying. So, I'll tell you how I got to this point now where I own my own tattoo studio. I make pretty good money. I curate all my clients. I only tattoo people that I want to tattoo. I create my own schedule. I work my own hours. I'm very healthy. I take care of myself. I'm a great father. I'm a leader. It's because I led myself first. So, let's go back in time about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I was working for a temp agency. I was working temporary jobs on construction sites. Random jobs. Any given day, I could get a phone call and they would ask me to show up at a job site. So, I did this day in and day out as a grunt worker. It was tedious, monotonous, very dirty, very low level, bottom of the barrel construction work. Some construction workers are very skilled and very useful and helpful. Me, I was just a grunt. I had no skill other than hard work ethic. That was my strength. I could just work. Whatever you tell me to do, I could do it continuously to a pretty high degree, pretty high quality. But in doing this, you have to kill a part of yourself. That part of yourself who is the dreamer, that child inside of yourself who only wants to go after his dreams, accomplish his goals, do fun things, have adventures, have sex with pretty women, and everything like that. That person inside of you has to die in order for you to work a job like this, which is not a dream job, which is a dirty, stinky, smelly, very hot or very cold, just very uncomfortable circumstance job where you're surrounded by a bunch of other idiots. So, excuse me for a moment. I need to get some ink, but I'll continue to tell this story. Follow me along. This is during COVID, right? During COVID, something hit me. I realized that, bro, this is real life. Like, we think that this is just a monotonous life. Like, life is so linear, time is so linear, and it'll just keep going on and on forever. No, during COVID, everything stopped. It was like, whoa, holy shit. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised your job. You're not promised anything. Everything can flip at the drop of a dime. So, I took that into consideration and I started to devise a plan. This plan is how I was going to escape this 9 to 5 and follow my dreams. The dream I had since I was a little kid, and I almost forgot the dream. That's how deep I was into monotony, mediocrity, how deep I was into also just self-loathing, self-medicating, smoking endless cigarettes, smoking weed every night, drinking on the weekends, taking other drugs, going down a path of just hedonism. I had to snap out of it. I put myself in a trance just to live every day. Just to go to this job, you gotta be fucked up. That's why all construction workers fucking smoke or they drink. You have to, just for this job to be okay, just for your mental health. So, finally, actually got a light bulb that went off in my head. Whenever I got the stimulus check, let me straighten this out. Why is it so crooked? All right, there we go. When I got the stimulus check, I noticed a bunch of other people I knew who got a stimulus check. They were all either buying things off Amazon or they were going to get tattoos. And when you give somebody some money who's not used to having a large amount of money, they're gonna blow it because that's just the mindset that they've always been in. That's all they know. They know when they get their check on Friday, it's gonna get blown. Just because that's like a poor person's mindset. So I had to take a step back and think about it. There's a lot of things I could have bought. Wasn't enough money to be life-changing to like go buy a vehicle or something. But like $1,200 is enough money that you could substantially invest into something. And honestly, I told myself I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to invest in myself. I am going to, again, chase my dream of being a tattoo artist because this is the last hurrah. I was in my late 20s and I was like, all right, this is where I have to choose. I have to make a decision in life. What career path am I going to go down? I now have 2 kids at this point. My second son was just born and life is getting really real at this point. And it's like, all right, we already know what the outcome is if you stay on this path that you're on right now. It may be a slow ascent. You may get a raise every year and the raise might be 75 cents or $1. You might even get a $2 raise. Oh, whoop-de-fucking-do. Or you can bet on yourself. You can go all in, and that's the type of person I am. I'm a risk taker. I'm a very artistic person, and I'm also kind of kind of crazy. I'm pretty wild in my thinking. I'm pretty wild. I'm a wild guy. So I bought this kit off of Amazon. I also told the temp agency I was quitting. And I actually started working at a piercing shop. One of my buddies had offered me a job actually as a piercer, which I started off doing piercings when I was 18, 19 years old. So I thought about it, man, I could work at this piercing shop, work on my tattoos, get into tattooing that way, and then just walk the path. I know this path will illuminate as I walk it. I will figure it out once I cross that bridge. And that's what I did. And throughout my tattoo journey, I've also been on a self-improvement journey, because I realized if I'm here working as a piercer and as a tattoo artist, I can't continue with these same bad habits of just smoking and drinking. And I really gotta lock in, because this determines the quality of how I show up as a person, determines how my clients perceive me, how my work quality turns out, and also the amount of money I get paid, the amount of tips I get, and the amount of clients actually decide to let me put a hole in their body. You have to have trust in a person. I know a lot of tattoo artists who smoke and drink and they think it's all cool, but honestly, bro, your clients know that you're kind of fucked up. And if your clients do drugs, or if they're cool with that, then hey, you guys are on the same level. But me, honestly, bro, I want something more for my life, because I know that it's just an empty pleasure. It leads nowhere. It's fake dopamine. My nose really itches right now. Sorry. It's fake pleasure. It doesn't really do anything for you. Smoking and drinking, gives you a dopamine hit as if you accomplished something, but literally you just breathed in a toxic substance, or you took a swig of some fucking poison. Anybody can do that. But so through my journey of becoming a piercer, of becoming a tattoo artist, I just started getting more and more healthy, started making better eating decisions, stopped the bad habits. Now, this has been a journey. I didn't just quit cold turkey. No, I've been trying to quit for a long time, but it takes a system. You can't just stop out of nowhere. Anybody who's addicted to anything, you know, like, you really have to make a plan for yourself. And what I did was, I invested in myself, and I also invested in the coaches, into mentors, into people who are successful and who could help me become successful. Because if you try to walk this path alone to the top, that is an option, but doing that, you will catch a lot of trial and errors. And it's not the most efficient way, because there will be a whole lot of time and energy wasted in finding out what not to do and trying things that don't actually work. So, in my whole journey, I've just invested in mentors. And now I'm to the point where I'm somewhat of a mentor myself. And I love it, because now I'm really held accountable by people that look up to me. So I'm going to lock in with this practice skin, but that was just a little story time right there. Chase your dreams. In order to do that, you'll have to change who you are. You'll have to have an identity shift in order to become the person that lives the dream. So, it's me, the Ink Blade, Eli.